Okay, so that's about our video introduction of our all hands. And I believe Mr. Jing is with us in the room. Hello, Mr. Jing.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, it's going great actually. And we have Mr. Jing. Here's Mrs. Lakshmi from BVE Talk. Still remember
Hey,
just last week.
Lakshmi, where is she? I'm looking across the board. I can't see her.
Yes, I am here.
Oh, there you are, Miss Lakshmi. All right, again, early on in the morning again. Thank you for joining us for our
Right.
company All Hands.
Okay, thank you very much again, Miss Lakshmi, to come to BV Talk. But I think this is the very last slide, and should be the first one. Okay, so I think before this all hands starts, I already quite introduced Miss Lakshmi a bit to 17 people that already here. But now we have another 20 people that probably have never met Miss Lakshmi before. So let me help you out by introducing her properly. Okay, so who is Miss Lakshmi? Okay, if you can see from her background experience, she has been, what is it, diving into the software engineer and also data science world before it becomes a thing like today. Like, okay, who are living in 1999 and already know about this software engineer thing? No, right? So that represents how amazing and how long that Miss Lakshmi has been in the game. She has been in the WeProtech um, as a senior software engineer from 1999 to 2002, and then jump over into HP, a very big laptop manufacturing company, from 2002 to 2009, like for 7 years as senior software engineer as well, and then contributing in IBM. Like, if you don't know IBM, probably you living under the cage, yeah. From 2012 until 2022 as a senior data scientist. And lastly, uh, she joined Nexus as a generative AI engineer, and now is being and these experiences has been a remarkable journey, I believe, for Miss Lakshmi. Miss Lakshmi, looking at your experience, people will say or will presume that you are very, what is it? Data scientist, a computer centric person, but actually, or probably looking at this works like you will deal with computer 24 hours. Is that actually what you do during your experience here, or you have another side that people actually what is it, do not expect it from you? Probably you like to cook, you like some any other hobbies, you like read some silly thing books or such.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But first of all, when I look at the slide, when you've kind of put it together, it's such a lovely slide. First, I feel like a dinosaur because I'm sure most of the people in this room would not have been, born at the time that I started working, right? So in '99, which is like previous century, right? So yeah, so it's like it's been a long, long journey. And yes, as you said, maybe this is my 9 to 5 job. And then other than that, there's a lot of things that I'd like to do and experiment. So up until COVID, travel was like on top of the list, right? So I used to kind of travel at least once in a quarter, try trekking. So, you'd have heard about the Himalayas. And then, one of the beautiful treks over there is during winter, the river kind of freezes over and you kind of walk on the ice. So that's a kind of 12 days trip. Where you're with nature, your mobile doesn't work, all your batteries die down. So it's just like, you have like basically no contact with the outer world. So that's one of the beautiful treks that I've done. And then, of course, I love beaches because I kind of, my hometown is from the southern part of India, which is the state of Kerala. And there's like I grew up in
Oh,
beaches, right? So beaches is like something I love. So that's another thing. And then, another thing, of course, cooking, trying to find something. Most of the times it ends in disaster, to be very honest. But yes, I still continue to experiment. And then, my husband and I, we have been like, always wanting to travel, wanting to experience new places. So as part of work as well, I've kind of traveled to multiple places, and one of the places that stands out is New Zealand, because it's like it's been, I guess, one of the most beautiful countries that I have ever seen. So I guess these are the different things that I do apart from work.
Oh, wow, that is very amazing. You've been to Himalayan, you've been to New Zealand, and you've been to so many countries. That's a very, very amazing experience. I really dream to be traveling like you did.
Right.
Okay, Himalayan, climbing Everest, man.
So there's a river trek. So the river kind of freezes over in winter. So it's called the Sanskar River, and then we kind of walk on that. So you kind of walk. It's a total of 100 kilometers. So you kind of walk 50 kilometers one way, and then you walk back. And then you kind of get to see the nature in its various forms, because one day the ice is kind of breaking. You got to run over that, and some days you're stuck in a place, everything is broken, then you've got to climb up all the
Oh,
mountains and so on and so forth. So it's been, I would say, it kind of uh, shows you what nature is, and how significant or how insignificant we all are in front of nature, right? So that's such a humbling experience. And then it's like 12 days you're cut off from the world. You are traveling with your group. That's it.
wow.
You don't have contact with anybody, no social media, no phones, no nothing.
Wow,
So
it must be very thrilling. I want there to jump
yes,
in and participate in that kind of trip
yes,
or travel.
absolutely. Yeah.
But that's a very good lifetime experience, I believe, for you, Miss Lakshmi. But thank you very much for sharing that part of yours that probably not many people actually seen it. And now let's get back into your working experience, because here we would like to invite and hear your inspiring stories. So I only have one question for you. Can you
Mhm.
share an example of a machine learning or artificial intelligence project you worked on that was truly innovative or groundbreaking? It is already mentioned that you've been working in two of the biggest companies in technology, HP and IBM. I believe you did like 1,000 cases like this.
Yeah, sure. So maybe I'll modify the question a bit, and I'll talk about, one of it, which was, say, groundbreaking in terms of technology, or what we were able to do with the technology which existed at that time. And another one, which is kind of very close to my heart, is, what we kind of did during the COVID times, right? So both of these experiences were during my time at IBM. So I'll start with the one which is kind of, I would say, one project. If I had to choose one project, that
Mm-hmm.
would be the one. So this was, around the end of 2020, when the COVID vaccine was kind of coming up, right? So in the US, it was coming up. Then it was time for Christmas, and then it was like, the whole year we had not taken any leaves, taken no breaks, because there's nowhere to go, and so on and so forth. So it's like I had a huge I had planned around 3 weeks of vacation, right? And then my manager calls me up and he says, there's a project that has come up and it has to be done over Christmas and New Year. So basically, I wouldn't get any holidays, right? So I have to kind of continuously work for 3 weeks. And then I was like, first reaction, of course, is no, it's holiday time. I can't go anywhere, but I want to be at home. I don't want to be doing anything. And then that's when he says that, so in US, they're going to roll out the vaccine, and one of the healthcare providers, they need a voice bot to be implemented that would help one schedule the vaccines, and then also schedule the COVID test. So before that, what's happening is they call a 1-800 number. A human agent would answer the calls, and they would kind of set it up. And then at that time, the government was just rolling out the policies in terms of the which age group would go first, what states would get it, and so on and so forth. So we had to kind of use the IBM tech stack. You might have heard about IBM's Watson Assistant, which is the chat agent. So what we did was, we had to use that, and basically we would connect it to a 1-800 number. So technology-wise, we would have IBM tech stack. We would have Twilio, which would kind of redirect the calls into the conversation agent. And then we would have these voice bots responding to customers. So, and all we had was like 3 weeks until the whole of US had this facility. So it was like, US again being a huge country, there were multiple, numbers that need to be called. And then these had, this customer had different types of clinics and numbers, which could be dialed by a user. So for us, it was like, say, around 3 weeks that we took from the ideation to conceptualization. And we were kind of working across, round the clock, around the, okay. So you guys are using IBM Watson to analyze and review sentiments. Awesome. So what we used to do was, we used to have 2 teams, one in the US and one in India. And we used to start at India time, 6:30 a.m. in the morning, finish by around 6:30 or 7:30 p.m. And that's when the US team takes over. So it was like around the clock we worked. And in 3 weeks, around, if I remember right, more than 1 million calls were being handled by bots, right? Which is not possible in case of a human. So I guess this was like, so it was like there was 7 days a week, no Christmas, no New Year. But yes, it was like, it was quite tough at the time. But then thinking back or after that, it was like, I would say it's an example where technology can help humankind, right? So that was the time everybody was suffering, and then we could do our bit with technology to help everyone. So I guess that's been a project which is quite close to me, right? Close to my heart, I would say.
Wow.
Again, now, yeah. Coming to the sorry, Furkan. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Please share your part first, Ms. Lakshmi.
Sure. Okay, and then again, another example that we had was, you would have seen these PDF documents, right? And many of these documents have tables. And then if you look at it, these documents could be none of the tables in 2 documents. It's very less chance that they look the same, right? So they can be bordered, they can be borderless, and the heading would be in one page, and the data would kind of flow over to the next page, and so on and so forth. So again, in one of the projects that we had worked for a client, what we had to do was that we had to extract all the data in this table, right? So from normal PDF, scanned documents, and when you say scanned, the documents are never going to be clean. It's like something will be tilted, something would be in a portrait mode, something would be in landscape. So documents like all shapes and sizes, they used to come very different. The DPI, some of them are good quality, some of them are not so good, some of them are pretty bad, and we had to kind of extract the data out of them. So this was a time before Gen AI, because now what we had to do is just upload the document and it kind of pulls out everything. So at that time, we had to build a deep learning model to basically extract all of this information into that. And then we had to kind of take into consideration the different lines, right? So which is like the borders that are getting drawn there at various shapes. Like it's around the table, between the columns, between the rows, and some of them, one row is split into multiple rows for separate ones.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Miss Lakshmi. I believe that was a very, very inspiring story. Wow. You just shared your case that can help like millions people, like by developing this new AI bot that can answer the phone call based on the training and the model that you've been implemented. That is very amazing. And I believe actually we have connections here, like our CTO, Mr. Bayu Setiawan, has just said that we use IBM Watson as well to analyze our
Right.
review sentiment. Okay, now thank you very much, Ms. Lakshmi, for sharing that information. I would like to open our discussion to the floor. Probably I would like to call the our senior data engineer. Is Felix here? Calling once, Felix. Okay, probably he's not around, or probably Mr. Bayu, the CTO itself. Mr. Bayu, would you like to probably ask, because we have like a, what is it? A senior person is software engineering and also data scientist that probably can help one of your two cases that if, in what is it, in implementing tech in Bukit Vista.
Yeah, sure. I think this is actually not a technical question. This is more into like a problem solving.
Mhm.
Oh, my name is Bayu, by the way. I'm CTO at Bukit Vista. So we often run into problems, right? The company problems. So uh, the the discussion on the engineering team or data science team is how we solve that problem, right? And as an engineer or data scientist, our approach is almost always, let's create something, right? Let's create a new model, or let's train a new model, right? So how do you how would you advise to balance between using the existing tools or models to solve the actual problem, or creating a new tool for this specific problem?
Yeah.
Well,
Got it. Yeah. Quite a interesting question, Bayu. And I guess every time we run into it. So whether it is reuse something which is there, or kind of build it. So I would say, in these atypical situations, right, when we have had it at IBM for different clients, one of the approaches that we follow is break it down into smaller problems, right? So you usually are given a problem statement, or you have a problem statement, and then try breaking it down into smaller parts, right? And then again, see what technology you have access to, and which of these problems can be solved by using something which is already available, right? Because with, say, for example, let me take the case of reviews, right? So you could either develop your own software from scratch for, say, analyzing the sentiments, right? Or what is the tone of the user, right? All of those things you could either develop, or you could use one of the tools which is currently available, right? So again, I would say for each of these things, if something is available and you have access to it in terms of license, permission to use it, and so on and so forth, I would say first try out with what is available and see what's the kind of accuracy that you get. And then when you do that, always, like suppose you have 100 lines of data, always start with a smaller set, right? So take, say, 10% or 20% of the data and see what is the kind of results that you are getting with existing out of the box models. And suppose you get everything good, then your life is easier. You save on money, you save on time, and you save on effort. But if your results are not so good, I would say see if you can kind of tweak it, right? So you have a model, see if you can either add a module preprocessor, like something before that, or a post processor, something after the model, right? And see if that would improve the results. And again, if the answer is no, then you kind of build a model. Because when you build a model, one thing is quality of data, which is very, very important, right? So if you have a huge volume of data, you get a good model. But if that data is biased, or you have data, say, from only one region that you're using to build it, but at the same time, you deploy it into production and you have to kind of use any other region's data, then you may not get good results, right? So you have to be very careful about the data, analyze the data, see how the various models are performing, and so on and so forth, before you do that. And then coming to the data science versus the engineering side, right? So how I see it as, any of the problems that where a user has to use it, right? That could be another company, or that could be any user, right? Any individual users. So all of it, I kind of see it as an engineering problem, because in that, what you're trying to do is, you are trying to put multiple things together, right? Which means you're engineering something. So it starts with either a mobile app or a web app in most cases. Behind that, you will have a data science model running. So none of these things can exist in isolation. So you will have to basically join them together and then give a solution. So it's a combination of both. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Furkan. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lakshmi, for answering Mr. Bayu's questions. I believe it will be very insightful, yeah, Mr. Bayu, right, for your team. Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Lakshmi, we are very, very happy to have you here, but unfortunately, the time is running. Like, I
Yes.
believe we promised you only have 15 minutes here, but we actually are already over 10 minutes. So we are very sorry for that. And if you would like to stay with us to watch the rest of our weekly Kabare meeting, all hands, you are welcome to stay. But if you'd like to depart, you probably rest after a very long day. You also may leave the room. It's up to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you very much, Miss Lakshmi, for coming to the hands. Everyone, let's give a clap and reactions to our weekly inspirational speaker of the week.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Furkan. Thank you, Jing. I know it was a
Thank you,
great
Lakshmi.
experience as always. Yes, thank you. And I think I'll log off because I've kind of already had a long day, right? So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Okay. See you. See you when we see you, Miss Lakshmi.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
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 Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So that was Miss Lakshmi from Sunnyvale, live from Sunnyvale, California. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Jing to present the company's vision and mission.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. And good morning, everybody all across Bukit Vista, across the world. Fun fact, Lakshmi is from where I was born. So I was born in Sunnyvale, and Lakshmi is actually working in Sunnyvale. So it's a little bit funny listening to her particular journey, because it kind of reminds me of my father's journey when he first went to the United States. He worked also in tech as a hard disk engineer, which is a technology that nobody has even probably thought about very much in the most recent. Oh, by the way, kudos to Thea. Thea, I gave her a small task, but she finally fixed the logo issue on the all hands. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Anyone notice that? All right, here, let me go back to a previous all hands, because details do matter, of course, right? Let's go back to a failed all hands where we used to have the battle logo, right? Let's see if I can find one. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. No? Yes? All right, pay attention, pay attention. This is our logo. This is the way our logo looks every Tuesday. You see that? I'm gonna sing that the whole time. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Yeah? the whole time it's been there. So suddenly it caught my attention that looks like kind of shit. So so I asked Thea, could you fix it? And she did some Canva magic, and it's fixed now. So now it looks proper. Nice, yeah? Nice! Okay, all right, let's go ahead and begin. For those of you who haven't watched Borat, your homework assignment tonight is to go watch Borat. So let's go back to this particular question. Actually, you asked a great question. I think the best way to answer that about whether or not to use new data models or old data models is I think you need to have your team have better self-knowledge. They need to know what already has been built so that they don't repeat and reinvent the wheel. Because this is something that we see a lot. It's a lack of self-knowledge. And this is the theme of the month. When we lack self-knowledge, we recreate inventions that have already been created. When we lack self-knowledge, we go and we forget that we already have resource that we need to accomplish our goals. When we lack self-knowledge, we lack the confidence to approach our problems with integrity and with curiosity. But if we can increase self-knowledge as a company, I think we have all the resource and all the knowledge that we need to change the world. How? How is that even possible? Well, let's gain some self-knowledge by seeing how partners see us. And for this particular case, I think I don't need to use a slide. I'm going to just use this. Boing. For all of you that don't know, what you're seeing here is a Google Analytics dashboard showing real-time usage of the website, Bukit Vista website, across the world. And I mean across the world because right now we have a global audience. There are 15 people right now on the website as we are having this meeting. And they're coming from, I guess, all over Indonesia. They're coming from, I don't know what that part of the world is. That looks like Singapore. They're coming from Australia. Some people are reading about us from Mexico and from Germany. And if you're curious, you can go and get access to this, and you'll see that people are visiting the Bukit Vista website all day long from all different parts of the world. I would like to believe that Google search rankings had something to do with that. And I'd like to believe that maybe finally fixing some of the grammar and spelling mistakes is giving us a more credible audience to a global audience who is looking at us and thinking, well, these people probably are professional property managers, are professionals in general. This is how the world sees us. How else do the world see us? Here, let me demonstrate something that maybe some of you have heard, some of you haven't heard. I do this demo all the time for people who are considering partnering with Bukit Vista. This is Google Trends. You can look up funny things like, do people search for cats or dogs more often in Indonesia on Google Trends? Well, in Indonesia, it seems like maybe dogs are more popular. Let's go ahead and take a look across history. Has that always been the case from 2004 until now? Well, they probably don't search for cats and dogs in Indonesia. They probably look for things like, kucing versus anjing, right? Oops, I spelled anjing wrong. Is anyone going to correct me? No? I hope somebody corrects me, right? Idiot test. When you make a mistake and nobody corrects you, everyone's an idiot. Okay, all right. So it seems like in Indonesia, kucing is a more popular search term, all right? But how do we use this more seriously? Well, we can put things like Airbnb versus Traveloka versus Booking.com versus, I don't know, Agoda versus, what else? Anybody else?
Ticket.com.
Ticket.com, okay. All right, we can see the relative popularity of all the different platforms, and it looks like Traveloka is the winner. But what's sad is that Traveloka used to be a bigger winner than now. Bet you didn't know that, right? So that's why data disproves all myths. All right, but we're not just talking about Indonesia for our audience. Our audience comes from all over the world. And here's what the world says. The world seems to say that they prefer using Airbnb by and large, and they prefer continuously using Airbnb over all the other platforms, okay? And we happen to be a very Airbnb-centered, Airbnb-focused company, which is kind of like the same thing around Google, right? Does anybody here use Bing or DuckDuckGo or any other search platform? Hey, if you use Bing, raise your hand. I'm just kind of curious who uses Bing. Anybody use Bing? No? So it doesn't matter, right, if you're ranked #1 on Bing. Just like it probably doesn't matter if you're ranked #1 on Traveloka if you're looking for an international audience traveling to Bali. Okay, so it's about focus. is about understanding where we need to focus and understanding what we're good at so that we stop wasting time on things that we're not good at and forgetting about what we are good at. Self-knowledge. Okay, let's keep on looking at some other aspects of self-knowledge that maybe are a little bit less flattering that I've seen. Okay, that's the screenshot, but I didn't need to do a screenshot because we have more users live than on my screenshot. This is how we look like now. Last week I showed the Arindra sign broken. Now we're back to where we started from. No sign. And I'm guessing within a few days, the hosting team will receive lost phone calls thinking that I don't think I'm at Villa Arindra. This is a bike rental shop, right? Okay. That's also what we look like. All right. Instead of looking at, let's say, what partners look at, maybe now we should know about what we look like. What do we see every day, but the rest of the world cannot see? This is part of the general concept I would call just declassification. What are we holding back? What is a single source of knowledge right now that isn't public? Well, let's take a look at this. A lot of times we have meetings with partners that can be published, that can actually be interesting material for other partners to read because they are involved in discussions about our strategy, about what partners' questions are. Can we declassify that? Can we put that on our website so another partner doesn't go and have to ask the same questions that another previous partner asked? I think that'd be great. I think that would make it much more easier. If we do that, we can probably get closer to instant book partnerships. Why? Because any particular partner has already read all the conversations that previous partners have had, and they understand. They understand what the questions are. They understand what our answers are. They understand the position. They don't need to re-ask questions over and over again. So, is it possible to do this? Yes, it is. And we can use the power of AI through Fireflies. Fireflies is the note taker right now. It's the F guy over in the upper left corner. If you guys haven't noticed, that's an AI taking notes of everything I'm saying right now and then able to summarize the entire meeting of what everyone said automatically within minutes, which is pretty cool. It basically means you can create a blog from a meeting like the Bukit Vista All Hands meeting with the press of a button and a few BBW content, okay? All right, what else can we declassify? There's a gigantic employee handbook here. Most of it is great material for anybody thinking about joining Bukit Vista. Why not declassify that? What is actually secret about any of this in the employee handbook? I don't know, but it would make great content for anybody seriously thinking about joining the company. So that's another thing I think that we can declassify. What about this? Inspirational speakers. We have inspirational speakers come by every week who are noteworthy. This is Rory. Rory was our inspirational speaker. I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Thank you for coming. 2 weeks ago, he's our inspirational speaker. But our website is not updated to show that Rory's an inspirational speaker. Now, how might that benefit us? Well, Rory's not just an inspirational speaker. He is actually an advocate of buying property in Bali. And his YouTube channel has already gotten more views on a single post that he's written, that he's filmed about buying an investment property in Bali. 8,000 views so far already. I mean, can't that be declassified? Can't we create a link to that? Isn't a person who is an influencer, maybe on YouTube, who is also one of our speakers, who's also one of our clients, something that can be helpful to generate more interest in Bukit Vista? This is what I mean by self-knowledge. We need to know what we're about. We need to know what our strengths are. And too often we don't know our strengths, and we go back and we reinvent new things, or we forget what we're good at. Okay. All right. And part of this self-knowledge comes from self-curiosity. What do you know about the company? What do you not know about the company? What should you know about Bukit Vista? If you're curious, then you should start asking these questions and start finding out, right? If you're not curious, then you'll probably go and reinvent or forget to discover something that's already here, that is already global, that's already world-class. Okay, use your curiosity to overcome your fear, and that is the basis of all inspiration. Once again, This is, oh yeah, here's something I want to show everybody. This is actually pretty interesting, right? Right now we're in a growth period. If anyone hasn't noticed, we are in a growth period. There's more people here than ever before, and there's more work moving into new sections. However, as I noticed this morning, there doesn't seem to be a lot of work happening in certain areas. And I'll show you what that actually looks like, all right? So this is the URC. By now, everybody should have had a rotation through the BBW into the teams that do content. This is the amount of work that gets done on a day-to-day basis, all right? It's all reported here in the URC. The greatest bulk of the work where I would expect work to be actually shown is right here on this particular section. This was yesterday. Yesterday, we did the sum total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 things. We did 12 things each, less than half an hour's worth of work. But we had 8 people there. We had 64 hours of total labor time, but only about, I would say reasonably, about 5 hours worth of work getting done. That's kind of a problem. That's not balancing work at all. That's just probably not working. And the reason I think it doesn't work is because supervision, one, but also self-knowledge. A lot of the greatest stories you already know. You already know because you talk about it in the personal updates. You talk about it in the weekly inspirational stories. You talk about it in your mission and vision statement stories. It's already here. But somehow when you come to BBW, you forget about it. Somehow when you come to actually tell your story to the world, that knowledge doesn't come with you. And that is a tragedy because there's some great stories in your minds. There's some great creativity in this company. But if everyone just wants to be executing and not really do the really interesting work, that's fine with me, right? That's not a problem with my inspiration. That's a problem with your inspiration. So when you go about and have a chance to tell your story to the world, think about what you've already been saying. Think about what your experiences are. Think about how to unlock that inner creativity and make the most and inspire delight. All right. Let's talk about the roundtable, which was kind of fun this last week. So we welcome Michael. Michael is a prospect. He owns a 2-hour guest house in Uluwatu. This is what Michael looks like. He's a fellow Californian. For the first time in a very long time, I was able to tell jokes and had somebody understand them without having to explain it, which was great. That was pretty fun. Michael enjoyed shisha. I enjoyed making shisha. This is the most heroic picture you'll ever see of me. Normally I look like a fat fuck, but this is me looking like a baller. I look like I'm slam dunking a shisha pipe right there. Yeah, who's a gangster now? Nanda, you've become the, I think, official bartender of Bukit Vista. There's Nanda, making sure that more haram things happen in our base, which is great because I want this place to be as haram as possible. On the counter side, we got Dinda there showing Erica how to take photos because Erica has not been trained to take photos, but neither was Dinda. So anyways, they're learning from each other, which is kind of cool, right? What else is great? Wait, there must have been more photos. What happened there? I'm an idiot. Wait, no, I'm not an idiot. That was it. I thought I had more photos. Okay. All right. Probably. Oh, God, I need to finish. I need to finish. All right. So, mission. Everyone knows the mission by now. Reward. Semester goal 3, 2.4 million, 4.5 overall rating, 5-star percentage, 70%. You guys know what the goal is. We've already crossed over. We're on track for all 3 goals. So that is good. All right. 3 goals, we're on track to pay 4x individual bonuses. 2 goals, 3x individual bonuses. 1 goal, 2x individual bonuses. And 3, 2, 1 for all interns on their particular goals. Okay. All right, that's it. That's my bit. I'm going to hand it back over to Yosef.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jing, for sharing vision and mission. And then we move to Airbnb Insight dashboard. To Kak Iren, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Yosefin. Okay. Somebody's gonna share my screen. Share the screen or
You may, Irene.
oh, right. Okay. Cannot see the screen first.
Irene, are you ready?
Yes. I'm sharing my screen. Can everyone see the screen?
Yep, it's loading now.
Okay, so Airbnb dashboard, 12 September 2023. Let's start. So the first one is communication. It's been increasing for 0.1%. Last week we have 79.6%. This week we have 79.7%. And next we have accuracy, decreasing 0.1%. Last week it was 77.1, and this week it's 77%. Next we have check-in. Check-in actually increased. Last week we have 81.5%, and this week we have 81.6%. Next, location. We happen to fix several of the locations, and last week we are in 72.0%. This week we are in 72.2%. I'm sorry, the after here is not accurate. And next is value. We have quite a huge increase in value. Last week it's 72.6%, and this week it's in 72.2%. And next, we also have cleanliness, who decreased quite significantly from last week. We have 69.9%, almost hitting 70, and this week it's on 69.5%. For the overall scores, our improvement this past 2 weeks for 0.3% has been decreased back to 72.2% with overall rating 4.6 stars. And this week focus will be optimizing onboarding property. We have several ongoing to get them ready for the next month's revenue goals. And then next, we are improving 5-star reviews to the property by enhancing the PBWGS to manage the places that we will deploy the team to, and create more significant result or commitment from the partner as well. And yeah, last but not least, get closer than ever to your customers, so close that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves. Thank you. Back to you, Sophie.
Thank you so much, Kak Iren, for sharing Airbnb Insight Dashboard. And then we go to weekly mission inspiration. Bukit Vista's mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovation that positively transform our guests. For Kak Marcel Julie, the floor is yours.
Okay, it's about the first guest house in Rafa. Delphi is not the first guest actually. It is a relaunching listing. So yeah, this is what we do. And it is resulting both 5-star reviews. So yeah, very great. It's for 2 foods. Resulting 5-star review. I think we should give more food, I believe. For more 5-star. Yeah. Okay, and then to Radit. Radit is actually offline today, so I will tell you guys about this. So there's some issue on the Kanha store handle that is broken. Though this is not a full board, so we actually don't handle to fix it by ourselves, but we do care about the guests. So we try to fix it with ourselves, with Demo and Radit, and everything is cool, I guess. Even though it's not fixed, because it is actually broken, cannot be fixed by us.
Okay, thank you, Kak Marcel, for sharing weekly mission inspiration. And then Kak Cinta, the floor is yours, Kak.
Thank you, Sufyan, for your time. So there is a guest complaint from Villa Angin for cleanliness, and it turns out it's pretty surprising because the cleanliness is at high risk, and it's really, really bad for the cleanliness. Also for the shower, beside the bidet, it's also broken, and there are a lot of stain and mold on the property. Also, there is no sign of the property. That's why when I'm coming there, I also shocked if this is one of Bukit Vista property. So I escalated it to the quality controls team, and then give Inspired Delight as a delegation. It's a pizza for the owner, and that's a picture for me and the guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kak Cinta, for sharing the story. And then we go to Bukit Vista's mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovation that positively transform our partners. To Kak Tendi, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there's for transformation. That's in Villa Tortoise. Before condition, and then if you go to the next picture, there's the progressing, and then there's the result as well. So now it looks more better. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Kak Tendi. And then Kak Cinta again.
It's still filangin, so we're setting a doorbell to make guests notified if there is people coming near the lockbox. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Cinta. And then Kak Tendi.
Okay. Yeah, this is the new innovation. So we initiate for making the housekeeping morning briefing as well, to make them align. So and then also they know each other. So yeah, we're conducting every day at 9 a.m. And I leading by me, and then yeah we talk about the prioritization, compensation, and then complementary on there. And then is there any report from about the property so we can handling more faster. Yeah, so far it has been running a week, and then I see there's better progression, and then I start to invite more housekeeping to join the briefing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kak Cinta and Kak Tendi, for sharing your story. And then we move to Bukit Vista's mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovation that positively transform our employees. To Kak Jihan, the floor is yours.
Yep. So last week we've done the BVE talk and we succeed to gain 365 participants, and our goal is actually 350. And then we also get a lot of positive feedback, and we gain 4.4 out of 5 scale rating from 133 feedbacks. Also, we have some areas for improvement, including like adjusting the pace of presentation, considering optimal timing for future webinars, and then ensuring speaker quality next BV talk, and staying updated on innovative developments, like on a title and the topics that we're gonna bring in the future BV talk.
Thank you, Kak Jihan, for sharing your story. And then we go to inspiring the hospitality industry through technological innovation. To Kak Dava, the floor is yours.
Hello. Thank you for the time, yes, Evan. So yeah, this is about a new feature in Gaia. So now you can actually submit content requests on Gaia. So now we can easily create content requests that go straight to our Trello board content. And to use it, just tell or take the Gaia in Slack to create a content request. I provide the example, and you can include detail like property name, deadline, and yeah, something like that. And the Gaia will immediately create a Trello board and send you a link for the card that has been created. And yeah, this is for the example. I found, yeah, ini contohnya Pandu. He requesting some information, yeah, about Wi-Fi in for Monkey Wooden, and the Gaia will create the card, and yeah, as we now can see, the issue is done, is fixed gitu. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Kak Dava, for sharing your story. And then to Kak Robin, the floor is yours.
Now our partner can see review components such as accuracy, cleanliness, communication, location, and value in review detail page. By showing more component details of the review to the partner, partners will have visibility on points in the property that can be improved. The next one is payout. Payout bundle previously released only in bigger. We also showing payout details to Bivigo users to show more payout transparency. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Robin, for sharing your story. And then we move to company team, target, and achievement. To Kak Kaila, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Okay, let's move on directly to the inspections on this month's theme, since we're running out of time. The first one, we have two threads and one opportunity for this week. The first thread is related to the revenue optimizations. In the past couple of days, we noticed that we have not been able to achieve our desired milestones for reaching the general revenue target this month. I believe the discussion itself are actively being discussed on the revenue management team. This could be due to two things. The first one, a need for improvement in terms of supervising revenue optimizations, and the second one, understanding how to utilize tools to target new opportunities. The actionable for this one are three themes. The first one, the revenue manager team, enhance the supervisions and management of unsold nights and properties with significant potential for lost opportunities. For example, Mango Sky. The second one for reservation team, I believe we did this last month. So please do this again. Concentrate on seizing opportunities for cross-selling properties to the guests that checking out on the same day to see if they want to extend their stay in other properties that we have in inventory. The third one for the engineering team, implement the automations for retargeting failed inquiries. So the first one directed to Bella and Kalilis, the second one to Marcel and Kagre, and the third one for Mas Bayu to supervise Ferdian's work in the retargeting issue. Okay, the second one, we have opportunity, which is the utilizations of Ask Anything. This one brought by Furkan actually from the discussions with Mas Bayu, encouraging everyone to start utilizing Ask Anything, not only on the guest squad, but also for anyone who needs access the company guidelines and general information, centralizing the internal knowledge source. I believe this has been a discussion internally between Furkan and Mas Bayu to prioritize the most frequently asked questions from the PR, HR, and awareness team that later on can be used company-wide, not only from the guest squad. Later on, hopefully to expand this initiative so that knowledge can be contributed by all team members. The third one, this is the last one for the thread, clarifications of roles and responsibility. This is directed to the partnership team and the team that doing the partners engagement. Since we are engaging in daily communications, both inbound and outbound with partners, we need to be careful in this one because we consistently encounter issues such as indecisiveness or limited knowledge that lead to partners making decisions on our behalf or kind of like trigger them as if they're having the upper hand of the management itself. In this one, let's improve the clarity surrounding our roles and responsibility within the context of community or partnership interactions. It's crucial to distinguish between our roles and those of our partners, as well as differentiate between suggestions and order. This is to me, Bella, and Mr. Jing that oversee. Okay, moving on to the September target. We have this is announcement for September target. We have the minimum revenue of $500,000 with a stretch target of $550,000. For the 5-star rating, we have 70% with a stretch of 80%, and for the overall rating, it's 4.5 for the minimum and 4.75 for the stretch target. Okay, regarding the ADFR target, we have not been able to achieve the second week nor the first week, but it's still on progress. So hopefully we'll see and conclusions on the next month, on the next week, next Tuesday, which is the minimum of $8,500 for the second week. Okay, moving on to the achievement, we have achieved 377,000 US dollar revenue for September, so it's about 75.40% achieved. This bit for comparing to the last 2 months. This is for the September minimum, so we still have about 30% available nights to sell. And if we'd like to achieve the minimum target, we still have 122,900 US dollar left. It's still a big target. Okay, I'm going to ask for next 2 minutes for this. The percentage of owner usage is stable on 4% for September that can be seen. So it's still good news considering the blocking itself are for transforming the properties that we have been inspected. For example, Villa Bahagia in this case. Okay, last one to the semester target. Okay, we have been able to achieve 2,465,262 US dollar, which is more than 100% from our targeted. However, we have not been able to achieve this month's revenue target. So please be mindful for our efforts. Do not jangan terlena kata Marcel and Mas Gani. I need to remind all of you that our success for the last 2 months, back again to this monthly theme, which is to lead with courage and integrity, ownership of our actions, and don't forget to make bold decisions in terms of unknown situations. Okay, I believe that's all. Back to you, Josephine.
Thank you so much, Kak Kayla, for sharing company theme, target, and achievement.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. Before you proceed, I will ask for 5 minutes extension because it's actually already time's up. But only 5 minutes extension to read the core value recognition only and announcement. So only two, yeah. So Josephine, you may proceed to read the core value recognition. To call the denominator for these core value recognitions.
Okay, Kak. And then we go to core value recognition for Kak Jihan as nominator. Sorry, Kak Marcel first as nominator. The floor is yours.
Not this one. Okay. Yeah. So we were eating pizza in JLD, one, and the interns, me, and Bimo, and Aiden. Then we get some information that we got to our guests can take a shower because the tank is unfilled. So yeah, we're joking around, and then we try to pressure Bimo that it is his fault. But eventually, in the end, they both helping Bimo to fill it one by one with a gallon. So yeah, it's really cool. So thank you for both of these guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Kak Marcel, for your sharing. And then we go to Kak Jihan. Kak Jihan, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I would like to say a big thanks to the BVE Talk team, Kak Furkon, Kak Shelin, Yosvin, Kak Adil, and also Mr. Jing for making the BVE Talk 23rd a successful event. And also, thank you for Mr. Jing to moderate the event, and you gain a lot of compliment from our feedback and also from Mr. Indra. Talking about how good you are in moderating the event. So that's it, Yosvin. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Jihan, for sharing the core value recognition. And then the last, Kak Gunung Gania. You can share. The floor is yours.
Okay, I'd like to recognize Hafiz for core value. Don't assume use data and details matter. So in the last 2 weeks, he found a strange visual on the blog page. Our blog thumbnail doesn't have consistent visual, and some of them are not pleasant to see. He looked at the Google Analytics and found out the average engagement time is relatively high, around 12 minutes. As the actionable, he proposed an idea to create a uniform feature image using AI tools and provide a little text to give more context of the article. So that's a good practice of Hafiz we use it in the daily basis in awareness team. Yep. Thank you, Hafiz. Kudos to you.
Thank you, Kak Gunung Gania, for sharing. And then we move to announcement to Kak Shalin, SPIC. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Josephine. Okay, so quick announcements for all employees. Actually, over here that we are commencing our one-on-one session this month. So we are planning to have it starting from 15th up until 30th of September. So like in the next few days. So it could either be conducted by the HR team or your leader. So stay tuned for the GCal invitation. Thank you. Back to you, Josephine.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So this marks our ends of the all hands. And if you guys have any feedback for today's all hands regarding anything, kindly drop your feedbacks down below on the all hands feedback table or page. And yes, see you on the next week's all hands meeting. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Have a good week ahead.
One.